Joanna Duggar recently took to social media to commemorate the memory of her stillborn daughter, Annabelle Elise Forsyth. The post was both heartfelt and reflective, as she paid tribute to her daughter, while opening up about the lasting emotional impact of the loss. Her message, although deeply personal, resonated with many who have experienced similar tragedies, and it reignited broader conversations around grief, child loss, and healing within public and private spaces. Joanna, who is the fifth daughter of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, and widely known from her appearances on the TLC shows 19 Kids and Counting On, has long maintained a connection with her followers through candid updates on her family life. Over the years, she has used her platform not only to share joyful moments, but also to reveal vulnerable and painful experiences. Her decision to honor Annabelle publicly was seen as an extension of that commitment to openness and emotional authenticity. Annabelle was stillborn at 20 weeks in June 2019. Joanna and her husband, Austin Forsyth, announced the loss shortly after it happened. In their announcement at the time, they wrote about discovering during a routine 20-week ultrasound that their baby no longer had a heartbeat. They chose the name Annabelle Elise for their daughter, and they shared photos holding her, swaddled in a blanket, as a way to remember her and include her in their family history. In her new post, which marked 5 years since Annabelle's passing, Joanna reflected on the brief but meaningful presence Annabelle had in their lives. Her message included words of remembrance, expressions of continued love, and notes about the ways the family honors Annabelle's memory. She also addressed the process of grief and how it has evolved over time, acknowledging that while the sharp pain of the initial loss has lessened, the longing and sadness remain. Joanna wrote about how the family makes an intentional effort to remember Annabelle. This includes visiting her gravesite, talking about her with their children, and keeping her name and memory alive in everyday conversation. She emphasized the importance of acknowledging all of their children, even those who are no longer physically present, as a way of embracing the fullness of their family story. She mentioned that her 2 other children, Gideon and Evelyn, are aware of Annabelle and occasionally bring her up in conversation. Joanna noted that hearing her children say Annabelle's name brings a bittersweet kind of comfort, affirming that Annabelle's life, however brief, left an imprint on the family. She also shared that the family looks forward to the day they believe they'll be reunited with Annabelle in heaven, a reflection of their Christian faith and its role in their grieving process. In the post, Joanna included a photo of the grave marker for Annabelle, which reads, Annabelle Elise Forsyth, June 2019, safe in the arms of Jesus. She described visiting the grave as a meaningful yet difficult tradition, one that allows her and Austin to reconnect with the memory of their daughter, while also acknowledging the pain of her absence. Joanna also addressed the broader experience of stillbirth and miscarriage, expressing compassion for other parents who have walked through similar losses. She encouraged others to speak openly about their grief, saying that sharing these experiences helps to break the silence and stigma often surrounding pregnancy loss. She acknowledged how isolating such losses can feel and emphasized the healing that can come from feeling seen and understood by others. Many of her followers responded to the post with messages of support, shared experiences, and gratitude. Several users left comments thanking Joanna for her vulnerability and for helping others feel less alone. Others shared stories of their own stillborn children or miscarriages, creating a thread of solidarity and remembrance in the comment section. Joanna responded to several of these comments, offering words of encouragement and understanding. This is not the first time Joanna has spoken publicly about Annabelle. In the past, she has made posts on Annabelle's birthday and around key milestones, each time reaffirming her ongoing love and remembrance. These public acknowledgments have become an annual tradition for Joanna and her family, one that her followers have come to expect and appreciate for its emotional honesty. Over the years, Joanna and Austin have spoken about how their faith played a central role in helping them cope with the loss. In past interviews and YouTube videos, they have shared that although the grief was overwhelming, their belief that Annabelle is in heaven provided comfort. They've said that leaning into their faith community, praying together, and trusting in their spiritual beliefs helped guide them through a season of intense sorrow. In her most recent post, Joanna reiterated this faith perspective, saying that she finds peace in believing Annabelle's spirit is safe and at peace. She also expressed gratitude for the lessons Annabelle's brief life taught them, lessons about love, resilience, and the sacredness of every life, no matter how short. Joanna's tribute to Annabelle also included a reminder to others to treasure the moments they have with their loved ones. She wrote about how fragile and fleeting life can be, and she encouraged her followers to hold their children close and appreciate the present. She mentioned that even amid busy schedules and daily chaos, pausing to reflect on the gift of life and family has become a vital practice for her. In addition to her written message, Joanna shared a few photos on social media. These included a simple floral arrangement placed at Annabelle's gravesite and a family photo with her other children, meant to show how Annabelle remains part of the family narrative. She did not include any graphic or emotionally distressing images, instead choosing symbols of remembrance and connection. The response to Joanna's post further highlights the power of vulnerability in public discourse. While the Duggar family has been the subject of widespread media attention and controversy over the years, moments like this show another side of their public presence, one that revolves around shared human experience rather than fame or spectacle. Joanna's approach to grief also reflects a broader cultural shift toward more open conversations around child loss. Where such topics were once considered too personal or taboo for public discussion, many parents now find solace in sharing their stories and forming communities of empathy. Joanna's tribute fits squarely within that trend, offering a message that is both deeply personal and universally resonant. In recent years, Joanna and Austin have continued to grow their family. In addition to Gideon and Evelyn, they welcomed another child, Gunnar, whose birth brought both joy and complex emotions. Joanna has shared that welcoming a child after loss involves a mix of hope and fear, and that even moments of happiness are tinged with remembrance of what was lost. She has spoken about how her parenting has been shaped by her grief, saying that the experience made her more intentional and appreciative. She explained that while the loss of Annabelle brought heartache, it also deepened her understanding of motherhood and the importance of cherishing each day. In her tribute post, Joanna also shared a short poem that she wrote for Annabelle. The poem expressed themes of longing, memory, and hope, and it ended with a line about holding her daughter again someday. She explained that writing the poem was part of her healing process, and that putting her emotions into words helped her navigate the complexity of grief. While Joanna's tribute focused on Annabelle, it also served as a broader reflection on life after loss. She wrote about the importance of finding ways to keep going, even when sorrow feels overwhelming. She encouraged others to allow themselves to grieve in their own way and time, rejecting any idea that grief should be rushed or hidden. She also acknowledged that the grieving process is non-linear. Some days are filled with peace, while others still bring tears. Annabelle's memory, she said, comes back in waves, sometimes unexpectedly, and she has learned to let those waves come without resistance. Instead of suppressing her emotions, she's learned to welcome them as part of her ongoing connection to her daughter. Toward the end of her message, Joanna thanked her husband for being a constant source of support. She wrote about the strength they found in each other and how the experience of losing Annabelle brought them closer. She noted that their shared grief created a deeper emotional bond and helped them develop a language of compassion and understanding that continues to shape their marriage. She closed the post with a message to Annabelle, saying that although her arms ache to hold her, her heart holds her forever. She included a heart emoji and the hashtag remembering Annabelle, which followers quickly adopted in their own comments and tributes. As Joy-Anna continues to share her family's story, her remembrance of Annabelle serves as a reminder that grief does not have an expiration date. Instead, it becomes part of a person's identity, something that changes form but never fully disappears. Her decision to speak about Annabelle openly has given her followers a framework for their own grief and a sense of connection in loss. Ultimately, Joy-Anna's moving message was a testament to enduring love. It was not only a tribute to a daughter who was lost too soon, but also a reflection of a mother's resilience, a family's healing, and the quiet strength that comes from remembrance. Jinger Duggar Vuolo, a well-known figure from the Duggar family, has openly reflected on her changing experiences when visiting her family home in Arkansas. As a public personality who grew up on the TLC show 19 Kids and Counting and later Counting On, Jinger has been increasingly transparent about how her perspectives have evolved in adulthood. Her most recent comments about going home have attracted attention as she described the experience as both wild and strange. This statement has led to speculation, analysis, and interest regarding her evolving relationship with her upbringing, her parents Bob and Michelle Duggar, and the broader Duggar family culture. Over the years, Jinger Duggar has undergone significant personal and spiritual changes, particularly after moving away from Arkansas and settling with her husband, Jeremy Vuolo, in Los Angeles, California. Her geographic and ideological distance from her family's traditional lifestyle has given her the opportunity to re-evaluate her upbringing. Jinger has stated in interviews and through her memoir that her views on religion, modesty, personal freedom, and family dynamics have shifted in meaningful ways. One of the major reasons Jinger describes going home as wild is because of how much her values and daily life now differ from those of her parents. The Duggar household is known for its adherence to strict conservative Christian principles, especially those influenced by the teachings of the Institute in Basic Life Principles. This organization, and its now disgraced founder Bill Gothard, was foundational in shaping the Duggar family's beliefs and rules, from dress codes to gender roles and educational structures. Jinger has been vocal in recent years about stepping away from the IBLP's teachings. In her book, Becoming Free Indeed, she details how she began questioning the doctrines she was taught, particularly those that promoted fear-based obedience and rigid hierarchies. She has clarified that she still identifies as a Christian, but now embraces a different theological interpretation, one rooted in grace rather than fear. As a result, her worldview has expanded in ways that often contrast sharply with the environment she grew up in. When Jinger visits Arkansas now, the contrast between her current life and her past is stark. In describing her experience as strange, she is referring to the emotional and psychological tension that can emerge when returning to a place filled with memories, expectations, and long-standing traditions. These visits can feel both familiar and alien, as her identity has changed while the family home environment has remained largely the same. One key element contributing to this tension is the dynamic with her parents. Bob and Michelle Duggar remain firmly committed to the values and lifestyle they raised their children with. While Jinger has not expressed hostility or rejection toward her parents, she has been honest about how their ideological differences can lead to uncomfortable moments or the need for boundaries. She emphasizes that she loves her family, but also acknowledges the importance of being true to her own convictions and beliefs. Another aspect that adds to the wild feeling of going home is the sheer number of people involved. The Duggar family includes 19 children, many of whom now have families of their own. This means that family gatherings can be massive, noisy, and overwhelming, especially for someone like Jinger, who has become used to a quieter lifestyle with just her husband and 2 daughters. The chaotic energy of a large household, combined with cultural expectations and potential ideological tension, makes the experience emotionally layered. Jinger has also pointed out that when she returns home, there is a feeling of being observed or evaluated. Because of her public statements and book, her family and community are aware of her changed views. This awareness can lead to subtle or overt pressure to explain herself or to navigate conversations carefully. In her interviews, Jinger has shared that she often feels like she's walking a tightrope, wanting to maintain peace with her family while staying true to her own beliefs. Despite the challenges, Jinger maintains that she does not regret visiting home. She believes that staying connected to family is important, even if the relationships are more complex than they used to be. She approaches these visits with a mindset of grace and understanding, trying to appreciate the moments she can share with her siblings and parents without compromising her personal growth. However, she does not shy away from acknowledging that the process is difficult and often emotionally exhausting. One of the ways Jinger copes with the emotional complexity of going home is by preparing mentally and spiritually. She has mentioned that she and her husband, Jeremy, talk in advance about what to expect, how to set boundaries, and how to support each other through the visit. They prioritize open communication and shared values, which gives Jinger a sense of stability even when she is in an environment that challenges her emotionally. Additionally, the birth of her daughters has added another layer of complexity. Jinger is now navigating how to raise her own children with a different set of values than those she was raised with. When she visits her parents, she is not just a daughter, she is also a mother making conscious decisions about what her children will be exposed to. This parental responsibility can make visits feel even more loaded, as she seeks to balance honoring her roots while protecting her children from the more restrictive aspects of the environment she grew up in. Jinger has been careful not to villainize her parents or upbringing. Instead, she frames her journey as one of personal exploration and freedom. She expresses gratitude for the love and care she received as a child, while also acknowledging the limitations and burdens of the belief system she was raised under. By describing her visits home as wild and strange, she encapsulates the emotional dichotomy of love and discomfort, familiarity and dissonance. Public reactions to Jinger's statements have been mixed. Some fans praise her courage for speaking out and setting boundaries, while others criticize her for what they perceive as a rejection of her family. However, Jinger remains consistent in her message that her intention is not to create division, but to pursue authenticity and spiritual integrity. She emphasizes that change, even when painful, is sometimes necessary for personal growth. Another contributing factor to the emotional challenge of visiting home is the public scrutiny. The Duggar family remains a high-profile topic, especially in light of controversies and legal issues involving some of its members. Jinger's efforts to distance herself from those controversies while still being part of the family can make visits feel like they are under a microscope. She has shared that she tries to focus on private connections rather than public expectations during these trips. Jinger also recognizes that visiting Arkansas brings her back into a cultural atmosphere that she no longer fully identifies with. Whether it is the language used, the roles expected of women, or the social norms, these aspects of her hometown environment can feel jarring. She has adapted to a more urban, diverse, and open lifestyle in Los Angeles, and the contrast is often difficult to reconcile. This cultural dissonance is another reason her visits feel both emotionally charged and mentally demanding. Still, Jinger acknowledges moments of joy and connection during her visits. She enjoys spending time with her siblings, watching their children grow, and sharing family meals. These positive experiences help to balance the emotional tension, allowing her to feel gratitude despite the discomfort. She values the opportunity to build and maintain relationships with those she loves, even if the circumstances are not always ideal. Jinger's story represents a broader narrative of adult children reevaluating their upbringing and finding their own path. Her journey is one of nuance, not a complete rejection of the past, but a thoughtful reconsideration of which elements to carry forward and which to leave behind. Her honesty about the wild and strange nature of going home serves as a relatable expression for many people navigating family dynamics that have become more complicated with age and independence. The concept of home often carries multiple meanings: physical, emotional, spiritual. For Jinger, going home to Arkansas is no longer a simple act. It requires emotional preparation, careful boundary setting, and a willingness to sit with discomfort. And yet, she continues to make the journey because she values connection, even when it is imperfect. Her reflections reveal a maturity and empathy that allow her to bridge the gap between her past and her present, even when the process is far from easy. In conclusion, Jinger Duggar's description of going home as wild and strange offers insight into the complexity of evolving personal identity within the context of a highly structured family system. Her willingness to speak candidly about the emotional, spiritual, and cultural challenges of these visits has resonated with many who have gone through similar experiences. Through grace, honesty, and perseverance, she continues to navigate the delicate balance between honoring her roots and embracing her own path. Her story is one of transformation, not of condemnation.